Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soothing Sundays. Wait a little bit for people to come in. Hope everyone has had a nice restorative week. I'm just adjusting my temperature. Okay. So, this is Soothing Sundays. We're going to go over a neurological reprogramming tool. It's also like for your nervous system, but this one is based in the Silva system or the Silva method. The whole name is the Silva method for mind control. It was developed a long time ago, so it kind of has this weird name. But it's a very amazing tool if you know anything about the Silva method. And if you don't, I'm going to teach you about it. And that is the tool for the week. One of the, he has all these tools, but I'm going to go over like one of the primary tools in or methods, I should say, in the Silva method. I have to say, guys, I woke up with a little bit of something in my throat. So I'm gonna hang in there for as long as I can. I can never get sick. So and I did take the supplement that I always take because it really helps. It just like knocks anything out. But anyway, also if you have questions, leave the questions and I will answer them. If you have anything related to mental health, psychology, reprogramming your brain or nervous system, anything neuroplasticity, I'm here for it. We're going to talk about those things. But let's jump right into the neurological reprogramming tool, which is based on the Silva method. It's one of the primary kind of like foundational methods that the Silva method uses. And this guy named Jose Silva, he was an engineer, but he realized that the brain works a lot like computers and it works on waves and different frequencies. So it's like a long story, but he developed this method and it was helping people recalibrate, rewire their brain and actually attract into their life like what they wanted to have because they were focusing their mind in a different way. And this is way back, I think in the 40s or 50s. So it's been around for a while, but I feel like it's been kind of suppressed, but it's called the Silva method. And so one of the primary foundational things, and I want you guys to, this is the tool for the week. So I want you guys to use this tool throughout the week. And he discovered that, and he was like measuring the frequencies of your brain, and he realized that and he realized that like if your brain is in an alpha state, that you can it passes the conscious mind where like the critical mind kind of interferes like, oh no, that can't happen, and the inner critic takes over, and it gets into the subconscious mind where you can reprogram your subconscious mind to get what you want. So, and it was just having like major effects on people, and it was like how, because we were taught something else. So anyway, Jose Silva was one of the first people to teach us how to rewire our brain. And this is one of the foundational methods that he uses. And it's called the right center left tool. So right center left tool is the name of it. I'm going to walk you guys through this right now. Hi, Alexis. Okay, so what you're going to do first, we want to get in that alpha state. So get into that alpha brainwave state. You're going to, you can do this with your eyes open, but it's easier, especially when you're first getting to learn how to do this. Close your eyes. And then you're just going to relax, like get as relaxed as you can, but you're still aware. So you're not asleep. You're still in that alpha state. It's before the theta state. So you're very relaxed and you're very present. That's it. And then you're breathing and then you're just focusing on your breath. And then in the alpha or in the Silva method, he has you start at your head, just bringing in awareness to your head, feeling like everything. So you're going to feel like everything throughout your body and basically do a head to toe body scan. And I'm not going to, maybe I'll make a video like really going through that whole thing. But when you're breathing deeply and sitting there, you're going to just do a head to toe body scan. And if you notice tension anywhere, you're just going to exhale and let it go. That's all you're doing to get in that alpha brainwave state. And so you're just going to redirect your mind back to your breath and completely relax. And when you feel all the way relaxed from your head to your toes, again, you're going to do the whole body scan. Then, and your eyes are typically closed, you're going to bring your eyes up and over to the right. And whatever is an issue in your life, Whatever it is, you're going to visualize it without any, just like visualize it like you're watching a movie, or, just kind of in an objective way. So let's say you're having a relationship problem, or like finances aren't where you wanted to be, whatever it is, you're just going to visualize it with your head is facing forward, but your eyes are up and to the right. And that's where you're visualizing. It's like one movie screen is playing the problem, what you see as a problem that you want to fix. So you're just watching it, watch the whole thing and just observe it in the most objective way possible while your eyes are up and right. Okay. Then you're going to move your eyes with your eyes closed to the center, and you're going to visualize something that means to you, like clearing, something being repaired, or a tool, or like whatever. Like it could be a light, it could be God, whatever that looks like to you. And you're going to imagine like a waterfall, anything that means a clearing to you, right? So you're going to go from the problem and then over to the clearing. And then just let that happen. If there's a sound associated with that, or like a like, or waterfalls, whatever. So you're just going to imagine the clearing happening. Okay, so it's coming in for as long as you want. And then you're going to redirect your eyes. Remember, your eyes are still closed and you're looking up and to the left now. And this is actually rewiring your brain. This is how he discovered that this is happening. So you're rewiring your brain, and then you're looking up and over to the left, and then you're imagining the exact outcome that you want. And you're feeling all the feelings, you're imagining every single detail. And again, your head is forward, eyes are closed, and your eyes are just up and to the left, and you're imagining every single detail coming in. It feels really good. Everything, how you want, the desired outcome that you want, and take as long as you want with that. Focus on that, actually, if you can, for longer than you did with the problem. So focus, focus, focus. And then what you're going to do is bring that desired outcome, because remember, that's playing on a different movie screen, because you're imagining 3 different screens. And then you're going to bring the desired outcome to the center of your mind. And then that movie screen is going to expand, and you're going to continue to watch it. And it's like, oh yeah, this is the only reality now. This is great. And like, you're just completely feeling into that, visualizing it. And then throughout your day, you're going to keep visualizing it. If that problem comes up and starts to trigger you and stress you out, then what you do is, again, you go from, you look up, and then you right in the right hand side of your mind, you see that screen that's presenting the problem, then center, then left to the outcome again, then the outcome that you want expands. Okay. And again, if you're joining us, this is based on the Silva method. Jose Silva invented this, or he created it or discovered it, because he was an engineer and realized that if your brain is in an alpha state and you do these particular visualizations in a certain way, that you will get that outcome. You'll literally rewire your brain, and you will get into your subconscious mind like, oh, this is the new reality. When your subconscious mind says this is true, then it's reflected into your reality, because a lot of our beliefs, all of our beliefs, and how we see ourselves in the world is reflected into our reality, consciously and subconsciously. Okay. So that's how you're going to do that. So if you are just joining, or you saw part of that, rewind this later or watch it from the beginning and do that. It's called the the right, center, left method by Jose, or it's the Silva method. The Silva method for mind control is the name of the book. If you want to buy the book, it's called The Silva Method for Mind Control by Jose Silva. And he wrote a few different books, but that's like the foundational book. It's typically like blue. And if you're into that, if you're into neuroscience, or just wanting like these other ways to rewire your brain, it is like, if you know, you know. And so that's another amazing book to go over. So hi guys, happy Easter. If you're new here, every Sunday I do Soothing Sundays just to prepare for the week, alleviate any Sunday scaries if you have them, any triggers that might come up, and just prepare to have the best week possible. That's why we're here. Okay. And so because of the spring season, and especially today being Easter and, the Passover Easter season, it's all about renewal. And spring is about renewal too. And so I always, every course student that I have in any of my courses, and any one-on-one client that I have, I always ask them this time of the year. And if there's something personally going on, I'll ask them different times of the year, but especially this time of the year, because at any moment, I really believe this, every time your heart beats, you can start anew. Every breath you take, you can start anew. It's just a decision that right now I am moving into a new reality where I'm going to leave that. Now, sometimes our ego mind or inner critic gets in the way and is so addicted to the past. So we have to override that. And like the Silva method that I just went over is a great way to override that. Hi, big man Tristan. Hi, big Pontiac. Good to see you guys. So again, so this time of the year, but I think because the spring is like pronounced, like, okay, it's Easter, there's renewal, the weather, everything. It's a really good time to think and really decide, okay, and really be honest with yourself. Really be honest with yourself. What is a belief that is rooted in fear? And you know if a belief is rooted in fear that is kind of controlling you in a negative way that you'd like to let go of. It could be something like, oh, my metabolism is slow. This never works out for me. I'm stuck at this job. What if you weren't? Is it if you have something in your life that isn't favorable, isn't the desired effect or outcome that you want, but you are so attached to a certain belief, like, oh, the economy, or it's hard to get jobs. What if you were just to let that go? What if you're just to let it go and live a life, like believe that you have a life where whatever you have, like the job, the relationship, the health, and I mean physical, mental, emotional health, whatever, all of the above. What if all that was just in place for you? And can you begin to live your life from there? Or do you want to be stuck in this feedback loop of just being miserable and complaining about it? And I am sincerely asking you that. I'm not joking around or I'm not making fun of you, because you can really be addicted to your sadness, to your misery or suffering. And I have been there. I didn't even know. And that's why I'm telling you guys, because most of the time it is unconscious. You're not like, oh yeah, I'm like addicted to my, oops, sorry, I forgot to put my phone on silent. You're not thinking, oh yeah, I'm addicted to this. So it's very unconscious. And I'm trying to help you guys to bring it into your consciousness. So if you have a circumstance in your life, I don't care what it is, in any area of your life, your health, wealth, relationships, career, your spiritual life, whatever, and you don't like it, you want it to be different, you complain about it. What is the lie that you're believing? What is the false belief that's rooted in fear that you are believing or accepting, or kind of, and it could be, I mean, it could be something that you got some just false belief from, like culturally or in your family, like, okay, well, all, the men in my family do this, or the women in my family, or just like that's how the world is. You create your reality. The world is how you decide it to be. And that is how powerful your mind is. So, really, with this renewal season, you can really just allow the past to be the past. Again, the past literally doesn't exist anymore, but a lot of us keep trying to bring it back in to this present moment. So, can you get into this state of renewal by deciding, okay, whatever that was, whatever that belief system was, whatever that is an old program that I got from this many decades ago, and I'm running on Windows 92, 98, whatever, and it's glitching, and it's really stagnating my life, and I don't like it anymore. Can I uninstall that program and download a new one? And that is like the renewal that I have, and like that's what I mean about this season of renewal. And I just posted a post today about, like, in every spiritual practice, like in the Bible, it says, be transformed by the renewal of your mind, because your mind is that powerful. But in every spiritual practice, it says it in some way that when your perspective changes, your life changes. But if nothing changes, right? So we have to start with our inner, like what's going on internally, for the world, our world, to have that reflected back to us. Let's see. Hi, Mike. I'm here late. I'm watching to catch up. Happy Easter. Yeah, I just went over a neurological reprogramming technique based on the Silva method, which is awesome. I love the Silva method. It's a great way to rewire your brain. If you're really wanting to get deeper into neuroscience, and a lot of this stuff is suppressed, guys, because, there are certain industries that don't want you to know that your mind is this powerful, and you could, shift things by shifting your mind in this way. So instead of doing all these outside things or stress, or, when you're in a state of fear, you are easier to control. People that live in a state of fear or in survival mode are just easier to manipulate and control. So there are systems in place that don't want you to know how powerful your mind is, but I'm here to help you see how powerful your mind is. And every Sunday, I give you a neurological reprogramming technique to help you with that in some way. And I always, it's so, there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them, right? And sometimes one will just resonate with you more. There's some, like, I haven't used the Silva method in a minute, and I just remember, like, it just came to me like a download, like, oh, do the Silva method for this. I'm like, of course, I'm going to share that this evening. I'm, so excited because it works so well and so quickly. Hi, Peter. Hi, Lauren. Happy Easter, everyone. At the end of your live stream last week, you talked about core beliefs, writing them down, and reframing. I'm journaling. Would love to know more about it. Okay, so actually, the method that I just went over, the Silva method, like, there's a lot of techniques, but that one is really good. There's so many different ways. It's like you just have to find one that works for you. And a lot of my content, and I have a lot of shorts right now, but actually all of my content, most of my content is about reframing. It's using some kind of neurological reprogramming technique to reframe your mindset around something so you can upgrade your life in every way. But so yes, last week we talked about writing down core beliefs, especially ones that don't serve you. Like, so for instance, I have to try harder than everyone else. Everyone gets this easy and I don't, or whatever it is, like, right? And like, it requires you to be really honest with yourself. And that was one of mine. It's like, everyone gets to have what they want except me. Well, that really wasn't my core belief. I was just told that by, my narcissistic mom. It wasn't, but like, part of me in my subconscious mind was believing that was true, and it was making my life hard. So I had to, like, get really real. I'm like, oh, I've victimized myself in this way, and I don't want to feel like that anymore. So it requires you to just be really honest with yourself. Or if, like, relationships haven't gone your way, in the way that you wanted to, it's like, okay, what core or false belief, what lie am I believing about relationships in regards to myself, that I don't deserve love, that I have to, like, really overperform for someone, or not be myself, or suppress certain parts of me. So first getting all of those things down. And then we want to transmute those into beliefs that serve us. So in one column, you can write down, like, oh, here's all the stuff, or you could write a page at, like, however you want to, and then number it. And then on the other side, you want to say, like, okay, for instance, if it's like, money is so difficult to come by, like, it's easy for everyone except me. So the opposite of that would be whatever, like, I can't write exactly it for you, but it would be like, money is easy. Money comes to me easily. I am highly valued. I value myself. If you're having stuff with money, it's typically because you have some worthiness stuff to work on. So can you say, like, I'm worthy of having whatever amount of money that you want, and always living in a state of financial safety and security, just for being me. Just for, being me, showing up and doing this. And I am paid very well for everything I do. So you're taking the old beliefs, and then you're turning them into beliefs that serve you. And you don't have to, of course, believe. If you believed them immediately, you wouldn't have the old beliefs that are holding you back. But just start, right? So you just want to write them down, and it's kind of like, okay, I would like to feel this way. So I'm just going to write it down, and then you're going to write down all the new beliefs, and then you're going to focus on them. I recommend writing them in a journal, and then also writing them in your phone, because we have our phones all the time. So in your spare time, when you're bored, or when you're just kind of zoning out, you could look at that, and you don't even have to just, like, stare at it. So it could get in your subconscious mind. So that's what we want to do. And we want to frame. It's about that perspective shift. And, like, if you're having a hard time with something, like, no, it's not true, this is how it's always been, what would you say to a friend? Act like you are talking to a friend. And it's like, well, maybe you're just worthy. Maybe you don't understand your value and how valuable you are. Maybe you deserve love. Maybe you deserve to be seen and heard in your relationships. Maybe relationships can be calm and peaceful. Are you ready for that? Because you can have that. and you could still be loved, and relationships could still be fulfilling even though they're calm and peaceful. So it's really getting nitty gritty, and it's not just like one and done. Like you could take any area, like the relationships, and then you'll add layers to it. Like, oh yeah, I deserve to have my love languages met. Like whatever it is, like words of affirmation, and without feeling like anxious and I have to do a lot for it. Just I just get to receive that, or quality time or physical touch. So it'll get like the layers will get more like sophisticated or more detailed, but just start there. So we want the false belief, the thing that's been stressing you out or holding you back, and then the new belief that you are creating or working towards, or that you're ready to. Some people are like, I'm freaking ready. I'm ready to just whatever, be a multimillionaire, have the love of my life. So whatever, wherever you are right now, but either way, you want those are the two shifts that you want to make between the two. Peter and everyone that you guys, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey, it's always a great thing to do to look at your core beliefs and upgrade them. And if you have a core belief, if you're wondering if you have a core belief that isn't serving you, see if there's an aspect of your life that it's you want to upgrade. That's where you start. um VL says, "Are you actually a psycho?" I've never said I was a psychologist. I'm a therapist. I have a master's degree in psychology. I have a master's in science in psychology, and a background in neuroscience. So has a psychologist has a PhD, and they typically get like whatever in like a certain area. I actually train a lot of psychologists, which is interesting. So I train a lot of psychologists, and I didn't get my PhD because I was going to go on and do that because I wanted to get out and help people. And also, you get a PhD to do a dissertation and you focus on this one thing. But I mean, like for I've noticed that people like think that psychologists are a lot more educated than people that just have a master's degree. It couldn't be further from the truth. When you have a master's degree, it's a clinician. It's like working one-on-one with people and helping people. Psychologist is more of like a erudite, like this is I'm studying this, and it's so you could write a book or something like that. But anyway, I'm not saying all psychologists are bad. It just annoys me how like sometimes people like think that they're more educated, and I end up coaching a lot of them. I mean, I'm talking about psychologists that have gone to like Harvard and like, they don't actually know what the fuck. They just don't know how to work with clients one-on-one. They know how to do studies and write papers, but they don't know how to work with clients. So they asked me to train them. But yeah, so I have a master's of science in psychology, graduated at the top of my class, blah, 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 doesn't matter. And I always say that too, like, because I've worked with a lot of different therapists and psychologists, and I'm at a place where like the person that I'm working with now, she's just like a Reiki healer. She's more on like the spiritual plane. And yeah, I mean, so you find if you're on your healing journey, find someone that just vibes with you, and it'll change. It might change. It's like, oh yeah, I like this person's work. Now I like this person's work. Just find someone that and like in this world, everyone's calling themselves a coach. Okay, so don't pay too much attention to that. Pay attention to someone that words are resonating with you, or where you find value in their work, or how they're presenting, or how they serve people. That's what I would say. Hi, Miss Priya. People say I'm selfish, not looking out for my kids when I do something they disapprove. It's like a way to gain power over me. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why intuitively this sounds like maybe like a family, like family is doing this. Uh, but so when you have children or anything, I think that you always need to balance it out with children, spouse, whatever. Like you need to balance it out with self-care and caring for yourself. And even if you're a parent, you can't just devote every part of your life to your children. Like it has to be balanced with other like taking care of yourself. So, and I don't know, again, this is like one sentence, right? So I don't know the full extent of it, but also, we can't let other people's opinions like control our life, right? Because or manipulate and control our behavior. And that's really difficult sometimes, especially sometimes we come from families where it's like everyone's very gossipy and like this is how you need to live your life. And it's also a way to like subconsciously keep everyone in the same place. Like, oh, you can't do this thing. We don't do this. We don't take care of ourselves this way. So, that's up to you. I would highly suggest making your own standards for your life. Like, what are your standards? And that's another thing too, Peter, to go back to the journaling thing. You could also say, these are my new standards for myself. And all of you, I always recommend that because your life will default to whatever your standards are. If something's happening that you don't like, you're allowing it on some level. So yeah, it could be to like gain power over you. I mean, people are judgmental and critical sometimes to manipulate and control or to offload any shame or guilt or whatever, how they feel about themselves. If you don't take it on and they notice it, they'll find a new victim or they'll just stop, right? Because you have to be part of it. You have to be part of that dynamic to play with it. It's like when they say that I feel a sharp pain. Yeah, I mean, if it's having a physical effect on you and your nervous system, that's something to look at. That doesn't sound pleasant. So why are you giving these people energy? Like you can decide how you treat or how you parent your children and what your family dynamic looks like. Why are these people involved? Miss Priya, it does sound like an opportunity to have better boundaries. Because we don't want other people's projections or judgments or anything having a negative physical effect on us. And it does. When I was still dealing with a lot of narcissists in my life, like I would literally physically get sick. If especially if you're on my TikTok, you can see like I have pictures of like how I used to look because I was just so stressed out all the time. So we don't want that. We don't take on other people's stuff and like let people project on us to the point to the point where we're mentally or physically distraught. So you get to have better boundaries. And it is difficult to have boundaries sometimes because, especially if we were used to people pleasing, it could literally be a shock to our nervous system. Like, oh my God, if I have boundaries, I'm going to get abandoned. Like there's this abandonment thing that's in the limbic system, the primitive part of our brain that's like, I know that healthy boundaries are important, but oh my God, I'm going to get abandoned. So you have to override that by telling yourself, I can't abandon myself. If I abandon myself, then that's the ultimate abandonment. So I'm going to protect my peace and take care of my boundaries and not let these people affect me physically or mentally. Set boundaries or don't respond to them. Yeah, I mean, not responding is a boundary, right? Last live stream, I talked about jade. Don't go into jade with people like this, which is justify, argue, defend, explain, / engage. So don't justify, argue, defend, explain, engage. Don't go into jade with these people. Like, what is the point? The point is to bring you down and drain your energy and like project all their bullshit on you. You have better things to do. Okay. Hi, Matthew Jordan. Mike says, I did a deep dive on Silva a long time ago, but can't say I had results. Can you share some of your own experiences using it? Absolutely. Do you feel there's a parallel between Neville Goddard's revision? Yes, I do. And they're very similar. So Neville Goddard's revision method and Jose Silva's right, center, left method are very similar. I would say like the Silva method's almost like more technical, whereas Neville Goddard is just like, okay, imagine like that thing didn't happen. Like you've always been loved, right? You always have had financial success. That other thing didn't have, like you're just revising the past. So you're not letting the past have this big anchor on you and you're not identifying with it. It's a huge self-concept shift. And you're just deciding, okay, boom, this is how it is. And then with the Silva method, I would say I'm using the word more technical because the Silva method wants you to get into an alpha state. And it is easier to get into the subconscious mind when you're in an alpha or theta state, when alpha or theta brainwave state. So what do? You close your eyes, you get really relaxed because we hold tension in our body. We hold negative beliefs in our body. So is it like, can I drop my shoulders so I don't feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders? Can I? And you relax everything first and you focus on your breathing. And then that there's a greater access to the subconscious mind. And so also, just doing that's what not NLP, that technique, I can't remember the name of it because I really don't recommend it unless it's for a specific trauma, but you go back and forth with your eyes because you're literally rewiring your brain. So it's like the same thing. I just think it's a little bit more technical, but they are very similar. And a lot of times when I do the revision technique, I will move my eyes from left to right because I understand what that does to the brain. So they're very similar, but here, this is exactly what I'm talking about to Mike and everyone else. The methods are very similar. Just pick one that vibes with you more. So sometimes the revision technique for certain things works better for me. I'm like, okay, that didn't happen. The past doesn't exist anyway. So this is my truth. This is my reality. It's always been this way. It's always been easy to do this. It's always whatever. Like my metabolism has always been on fire. I've always had the best relationships, whatever it is for you. And then the Silva method technique that I went over at the beginning, if you want to just, I don't even want to say go deeper with it, just if that vibes for you more. But I do think that there's a lot of what's the word that I'm looking for? I do think that it's very effective to relax the body because that's our nervous system and we don't do it enough. So if you can relax the body, focus on the breathing, which the Silva method always incorporates. And so but like in terms of my own experience, yes, like I read the book and then I listened to it on audio so I could be guided through everything. And it just showed me how powerful my mind was. And when I did that technique, the right, center, left technique, it just immediately, like I've manifested things. I'm like, that just showed up and I got a chance to see how powerful my mind was. And especially when it was at a time where I was like really stressed out and I was like clearing out all these narcissistic relationships. So my nervous system was like on 12, like it was just like, and I needed to calm it down. So it really helped with that. And I think like Neville Goddard's techniques, like I found later, but I needed the Silva techniques first because it really just regulated me. So if you have high cortisol, if you need help with just focusing your mind, especially if you've gone through a lot or you're just like emotionally upset, I really think that the Silva method can really help. So yeah. Does that make sense, Mike, by the way? It's like, oh, I missed a comment that you said, Miss Priya. It's like when they say I feel, oh no, I said that. I got that one. Okay, hello, Matthew Jordan. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Those were my two things I was gonna share with you guys is the Silva method and this. I just want you guys to be in this state of renewal. At any moment you could change your life, but like 'tis the season, right? So let's really focus on that. Like your new life starts now, whatever it is. Like, okay, I'm a successful, if you're starting a business, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, like on the executive coaching side of things. And it's like, this is your new identity. You're the CEO of this. You've left corporate America or whatever it is. And then you're all you are is a CEO. Forget that. Like, this is your life now. You're a CEO. You're in great health because you're not all stressed out by, going to some job that makes you feel like a slave. So every area of your life gets to get better because everything is interconnected. So just really deciding to make that transformation. A big part of what I do is like, actually everything I do is based in transformation. I love the transformation process. I love watching you guys, have realizations and like, oh yeah, I'm doing this differently and just heal and level up. So that's what this time of year is all about. I'm starting to practice more, Peter says. It is an obvious thing, but placing it in the context of talking to a friend or talking to my inner child made made my internal dialogue much more supportive and constructive. Yeah, it's always it's always going to, especially the inner child thing, it just hits different, guys. It's it's just gonna hit because it goes straight to the core of where that belief came from, and that inner child still believes that and is longing to be, like, heard, feel safe, feel loved, feel supported, and reparented and told, like, "Okay, actually, you are loved, and actually that false negative belief or whatever you were told is not true, and I love you, and you get to be supported in every way and free." And also, like, I tell my inner children, just go be a kid, just you don't have to take on all of these negative things that were never yours to begin with. um and I do plan on filming some, like, inner child stuff and, like, making a playlist on YouTube because it really is such a good thing to do. It's a little it's not daunting, it's just, it'll make you cry, but that's okay because those tears have been, like, suppressed in your nervous system for so long and just need to be released. Like, inner child work can make you feel, like, so much joy and lead to so much emotional freedom. J-Ro, hi, oh my god, I always missed your live. So you're here! Finally caught you. Yes, on Sundays, it's always 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern, but anyway, it's 5 p.m. Pacific. And then during the week when I live stream, it's either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm working with a company. Again, I do executive coaching as well. And so we either meet on Wednesdays or Thursdays. So I just have to be flexible with that. But I did want to do one day during the week. And so it'll either be Wednesday or Thursday. And I'll get better at announcing that. Let's see. Peter says, so a quick win. Yes, we love the wins. We love to hear about the wins. I said no to something and was sitting with that uncomfortableness, and it worked out. Okay. So proud of it. Yes. Need to keep at focusing on the improved me, myself and I. Yes. Like, first of all, just so you guys know, no is a complete sentence. Just no, you can say that. And it is difficult at first, but and again, anyone that actually cares about you is going to be okay if you say no to something. And so if you say no to something and then they get all whatever because they're not getting their way, they don't care about you and they're just using you for whatever. So the people, and it's a good way to see how people actually feel about you. Are you just being used for whatever? Then that no is going to be met with a lot of strife. But oh, you don't, okay, no problem. That's how it should be. And it is nice. And to, when we're working on boundaries, if we have codependent or people pleasing tendencies and we start to say no, it's very liberating. It's a little bit scary at first, and then that goes away, and then it's just really okay. It's really nice to say that, and we have this new sense of autonomy and this new sense of, like, personal sovereignty. There's a reason when 2-year-olds, or the whole terrible twos, when you're 2 and when you're a teenager, the brain starts to do something what's called individuation, and individuation just means I'm me and you're you. So that's why 2-year-olds say no, and teenagers, it's like even if they want something, they'll just say no, or they want to test boundaries and know that they're safe because they're little babies still, they're toddlers. But also it's to say, like, I'm an individual. You're just learning that for the first time when you're a toddler, like, I'm my own person. And so, yeah, but we have to learn those things later in life. So you could also talk to your toddler inner child and you could talk to your teenager and be like, you know what, it's okay to say no. It's okay to just be you and be an individual. Thank you for sharing your win with us. We love that. If any of you guys have wins, please celebrate them, or please write them in the comments. I love hearing about your wins. James says, hi, Lauren. It's nice to be in your live stream. Yes, it's nice to have you, James. Happy Easter. Thanks, Aaron. J. Rose, should I remove myself from a job that is toxic or people act like they're in high school, aka talk I mean, if you're in a toxic work environment, I'm always going to say this. I specialize in personality disorders, helping people in, abusive, toxic relationships that, there's usually personality disorders involved with that. Um, yeah, I mean, you spend a lot of your life at work. Okay, should you be around toxicity that much? No. It's kind of like, "Oh, I'm in," it's almost like saying, I work in this job where I'm constantly exposed to, like, toxic fumes. Should I leave? Yeah, you should. It's not good for you because toxic energy is toxic energy, and so all this gossiping and everything, gossiping is also, I mean, people do it from their own insecurity. People do it as a way to, like, cope with stress. Um, there's a lot of reasons for it, but do you wanna be involved in that? No, I think that you deserve better, J-Ro. Um, I would definitely, and, like, the fact that you're even asking is showing that you're ready to have a more supportive, healthy work environment. So I would journal, what does that look like for you? If I had my ideal work environment, if I woke up tomorrow and I had my ideal work environment, what would that be like? Would it be my own business? Would it be working at this time? What does that look like? Get really, really real and very detailed with it. Peter says, "Can I ask a personal question? Given what you've learned and experienced, how do you ensure not to get cynical of people in general?" Why would I? I don't have a cynical, it's not my worldview, so I would never get that way. Um, I think that everything, like, the only real truth is love and God, or how, whatever you call your higher power, like, so the only real truth is love, and then anytime, like, fear is an illusion, and it's illusion, an illusion that, is pronounced, and it's everywhere, and it's there to manipulate and control us, and we go through certain things and challenges in life to bring us back to understand how real love and God is. That's it. So if that's happening, like, people, like, even my very, and I guess I have a lot of reasons to think, like, in a cynical way, but what are you doing if you think in a cynical way? You're making yourself a victim and you're disempowering yourself. Why would you do that? What is the point of that? That's not empowering. That's not coming from a place of love. That's not helping anything. So no, I would never. I think it's only strengthened my, like, resolve that I've this is my vocation and I'm meant to do the work that I do. Um, and yeah, so I don't, like, things like that don't even enter my mind. I don't even make space for that. So yeah. Matthew, hello. Hi, Matthew Jordan. The expansionist, happy Sunday. Yes, happy Sunday. Good to see you, the expansionist. Miss Priya, many self-help coaches online in online spaces always make you feel like you're not enough. Yeah, I feel like they do that so you buy their shit. You know, I mean, I have courses and, I please take them, download them. They're not that expensive and I know that they're going to help you, but it's not like, I feel like a lot of times their sales tactic is like that, like, "Oh, you're defective in some way and my product will make you better." I don't know. Yeah, that's not how we roll up in here. That's not. We're just here to empower each other, and I'm here to show you different neurological reprogramming tools to rewire your brain and your nervous system so you could be the best version of yourself and have the best fucking life possible. There's no need to put anyone down, and it's dumb to do that. And I feel like those people, like, that's what I mean. They just call themselves coaches. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. We're not about that up in here. Miss Priya, it makes you feel like you need there. Yeah, exactly. It makes you feel like you need it's like a sales tactic. It's dumb. Hold on, I'm gonna take a drink of water. Peter says, okay, just making sure. Peter says, that's a great reframe. It's not healthy, period. Yes, thanks for answering. Of course. Of course. Thanks for asking. That's a great question. Miss Priya, like a trainer that calls you a fat loser, it's not motivating. Yeah, I mean, and some people like that form of talk, like, but it's just not me. Now, will I be straight up with you? Will I mean, some of you guys were here when I, like, you know, talk to Tim or whatever, like, because he was in, this perpetual state of victimhood and wasting your guys' time and my time. So if I'll give it to you straight and I'll tell you in the kindest way possible. But um, in terms of like just putting people down, that's not what we do here. I'm, mostly like very nurturing and just want to share these techniques with you guys and, help you recalibrate your brain, reprogram your brain to get whatever you want in life. Because really, you can have whatever you want in life. You can. You are the creator of your reality. This is your video game. This is no one else's video game. You can have whatever you want. I promise you that. And even if you don't believe me, just pretend like, okay, that crazy lady on the internet said that. So I'm just going to, whatever, give it a shot. Just give it a shot. Do that because you really can. Whatever you focus on, you will get more of. How's the boxing going, the expansionist? Hello, Max. But anyway, I'll stay open for a little bit longer if you guys have any questions or comments. Then I'll probably wrap up around 6-ish, like in 10, 15 minutes. Peter says, I think I might have asked you this before, your thoughts on stoicism. Yeah, we talked about it, and I was talking about Ryan Holiday, and I just like how he talks about stoicism because I think it's very palatable and approachable. But yeah, I think I like stoicism. I don't like specialize in it, but I do. Some of my clients, especially my male clients, like that, the stoicism, and so I will talk to them from that angle of stoicism, depending on exactly what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's just like taking full responsibility for everything that is going on in your life. That is a big thing that I believe in, that a lot of people just get irate when I'm like, hey, you've created everything in your life. So that means that's good news, right? That's good news. It means that you can create something new. You have unconsciously been doing these patterns, and now you can create these new ones. So, but yeah, like if you've noticed, I don't talk about stoicism directly a lot of my videos. Sometimes I'll like reference Ryan Holiday's work or something about stoicism. I have a background in it. Like, it was a big thing in my undergraduate part of my education, but I don't know. I'm more in like neuroscience world right now. Mike says, yes, thank you, Lauren. It feels like between Silva, Zealand, and Neville are some of the most spiritual. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's all like what resonates with you. Like I've had like, for instance, like, especially with the manifestation stuff, Abraham Hicks resonated with me, and now it really doesn't. There are certain elements of it, but like when Abraham, if you listen to him, her, like, anyway, it's being channeled through Esther Hicks. But if you listen to them talking, they're saying a lot of stuff that Neville says, but like a lot of it focuses on what you don't want as much for me personally. But that was like a stepping stone for me. And then like, I just think that Neville and like Silva, like they're just at a higher level, right? Because we're going from 3D to 4D to 5D, all the way up to like 7D type of thinking. Miss Priya, I like what you said. Delusional confidence trumps it really does. Like, let me tell you something, like confidence will override everything. Confidence is also like a drug, and it gets people to like you, to be drawn to you, even if you don't have the skills. Like I've had to learn this starting my business, and I kind of talk shit. I do. I talk shit about people that call themselves coaches and everything. Like I am way more talented than them, but they get people buying their shit courses, and like they have all these followers and everything because they're just confident as fuck. And so I'm like, okay, well, I could judge and complain about that, or maybe it's an invitation for me to be more confident about my work and how I serve people and how I show up. So, you have nothing to lose. And I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking about true confidence. You have everything to gain by being confident. And I really think that confidence is something that's very spiritual, because if you have any whatever relationship with God, source, higher power, whatever you call it, like they like let's just use God. God knows that you are amazing, and like your inner critic might talk shit, puts you down, makes you want to think all these things, causes you to procrastinate. But like that true confidence is like very spiritual, and it's like, you know what, I got this. This is in my heart to talk about. This is something I'm passionate about. I don't need to be perfect or know everything about it. Like I come up on here talking however I do, using a bunch of filler words, but my heart is like to create this safe space for you guys to, so you guys can learn about new things, neurological reprogramming tools, and have some motivation to start the week. But beyond that, like, so like container, like a nice safe container to have the best week possible. That's what matters more than anything, right? And so everything else will like fall into place. But yeah, that confidence is going to carry you so much farther. Yes, Miss Priya, I talk about Kim Kardashian all the time. I just think that I really believe Kim Kardashian, especially, is an NPC in our lives to show us that you are overthinking it when in terms of like, oh, I'm not talented enough. I'm not. She just believes that she deserves to have this amount of money to be on the cover of Vogue or whatever, even though she has the opposite, look in terms of like being on the cover. She just believes it, so she gets it. So that's all I'm saying. If you, whatever you believe about yourself, you will get. And she's a perfect example of that. I really think that she exists for that reason, to show us that you can. I mean, one of the dumbest people, like people tune in to watch her eat food with her mouth open and say for like extended amounts of time. Like think about that, guys. You're more powerful than you think. Okay. Let's see. J Rowe, but I feel like with the mental health issues, it's kind of blocked my way of thinking because I do want to do better for myself in school, but it's kind of hard with mental health issues. That okay, so there you just pinpointed your core belief that it's kind of hard with the mental health issues. So, or the mental stress. So, can you say maybe this mental stress is a gift showing me what I need to clear out of my life? Whether it's depression, so you're focusing on the past, or anxiety, you're worried about managing the future that you can't because the future's not here yet and the past is over. So, what if you shifted your perspective and thought, okay, this mental stress is a gift because it really is. And it's helping me because otherwise, maybe you wouldn't have done it, to look at something that you're holding on to that literally is begging for you to let it go. So then you could flourish. You don't. And there's also an opportunity here from what you wrote, J-Ro, to not identify with that. You can say, oh, I have this and it's being upgraded, it's being healed. Like I was just saying at the beginning of this, live stream, that I was just like feeling a little bit under the weather, but I was like, I took this supplement that I freaking love that works like magic, and I know I'm going to be okay. And I'm just already so thankful for my health. So I'm not identifying, and it's so sneaky, because we're not taught these things. We're taught like, oh, I have this thing and I'm defective in this way. You're not defective. And you're such a badass that you can have this mental stress and then still do like as well as you want in school. You can do that. That is possible for you. And I think that you wrote that just so you can hear that. Like maybe I'm just a messenger for you to know that you can have whatever is going on in your life, and you're that resilient and that strong that you can see that mental stress as just an opportunity to let something go and show yourself how resilient you are. Because we're always going to have challenges, but it's kind of like, okay, can we trust that we're also being taken care of when this challenge comes up, when that challenge comes up? That's what I'm always telling you guys. If you're spiritually bankrupt, it's going to be really hard to get over things. But if you have some type of relationship with God, source, higher power, universe, it's going to be a lot easier because, again, like Jung always talks about, things are resolved, healed, and the things that we want in life are received on an energetic/spiritual plane, right? They're not on the 3D. The 3D is like the last thing. They're on a 4 and 5D. So we have to like shift our energy. And it's so easy. All we have to do is change our identity and decide this is true for us now. So like your mental stress, it comes up, but you can handle that shit. right? And you can do this because you're a superstar, like just changing your self concept about it and that it's not hard or it is, or maybe it is challenging sometimes, but you can handle it and you get through it so gracefully and you're inspiring to other people. Do you see how that shifted? Um, and I mean, that's what I did with my stuff around, my abusive whatever parent and all this stuff because I felt like such a victim and I'm like I can't do this, I can't focus in school because I have this like insane person who's constantly trying to, and then I'm like, you know what, I want to be an inspiration to other people that are going through the same thing. And I'm not going to let this thing that's showing up as depression or whatever define me and define who I am or my past and whatever the fuck, like, my narcissistic mom taught, like, said to me. I'm not letting that define me anymore. And that sucks, but I'm going to bring it to consciousness and decide that this thing is now true for me, not that. Okay. And so I could have these things come up and I could sit with them. And like, again, this is a good thing, J wrote for the Silva method is to like do the right. I talked about at the beginning of this live stream, so you could watch it later, but like the right center left method. Okay. See the problem as it is, then see it clearing, then see the version if you want the version, the outcome, everything that you want, and focus on that. Focus on that. That is your new reality. Yes, it was difficult in the past. Now, when challenges come up, they come up and you get through them. Peter says, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Yeah, I love The Obstacle is the Way. It's such a great book. J-Ro, I've been struggling with my mental health for sure. And that's okay. I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here if you've been struggling with your mental health. And like, watch some of my other content, the shorter form content and the longer, and because all of them have different neurological reprogramming techniques for, if you're struggling. That's why I create this space for you guys. So, and coming on here, J-Ro, and saying I've been struggling means that you don't want to struggle anymore. It means you're ready to let go of a lot that's been holding you back or down or keeping you in a place that you don't want to be. So already doing all of those things, you're moving in a great direction. Give yourself credit for that. I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit for that. Give yourself more credit for that because you're doing great. James says, I appreciate your service and authenticity. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. I don't know what that, I only speak English, so let's see, just in case that's something not good. Okay. Peter says, final question for me. You've talked about Esther Perel's work and channel. Any other recommendations like hers? Well, I was recommending Esther Perel whenever I talked about that, probably because she focuses on romantic relationships. I think I might have been answering your question. And honestly, Peter, like you're doing this journaling, which is a lot. And then the Silva technique that I just went over, you incorporate, like do a deeper dive on Esther Perel's work. I mean, I could give you a bunch of other recommendations, but sometimes when we're in a healing process, it's like we want to like consume all this stuff, like go deep on one thing. And so like with you, Peter, you're changing your core beliefs. And I'm saying this because a lot of times this happens a lot with course students and my individual clients is like they start to get like really deep with like changing their beliefs and they're like, oh, Esther Perel. And it's like, no, stay focused on, because you're going to hit something that's going to be like, oof, I don't want to look at that. So keep going with your core beliefs and rewrite the standards for your life. Stick with that, Peter. And yes, like when you're on a walk or something, like listen to Esther Perel's, or if instead of watching whatever on TV, listen to one of her TED Talks because they're deep and they're a lot to think about. Like she's super intelligent and well informed and she just studies everything about relationships. So like if you listen to, if you just find a podcast of hers, it's like your mind will be blown. And if you listen to one of, like, anytime that she's been interviewed, she talks about all these different authors that you'd be like, oh my God, I got to read all these books. So that's enough. I think, like, let's just start there, Peter. How does that sound? Big Pontiac. Kim is a type of witch, probably. Yeah, yeah. Big Pontiac lion's mane has really helped my memory. Yeah, I like lion's mane. A lot of people I like taking it in its pure form, like, you could have it like, they have it in coffee and chocolate and all this stuff, but I I agree with you. I like lion's mane. There is some I did a live stream where I talked about sup and it that live stream was, like, supplements that are for, like, physical, like, reversing the signs of, like, cord not even the signs, but actually, like, reversing cell damage, but yeah, that's so f you know what's fun to me is, like, the more you get involved with your own healing journey, it's like, "Oh, I wanna do this, and I wanna do a book club like Peter, or I wanna exercise, or I wanna take these supplements." Like, you really wanna care for yourself on every level more, and I love that. Big Pontiac, my wife and daughter and niece really suffer from anxiety. I don't, so I try to find techniques to help them. Okay. So yeah, and they could look at a lot of my videos go over that. And, as I've been talking about, anxiety is focusing and worrying about a future that hasn't happened and will never because we only have the present moment. It literally doesn't exist anymore. And so, but the biggest, you could also just recommend a breathing app like Wim Hof is very popular because you have to start with breathe in my opinion, starting with breathing properly dramatically helps anxiety. And I know the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know that, but you are not breathing properly if you have anxiety. And sometimes you're not breathing at all. So if you can start by regulating your nervous system and dropping your cortisol levels just by breathing properly, that's really going to help. It really changes your brain chemistry by breathing properly. And we really have to teach people that because they don't know. Sometimes I'll make videos. I have a lot of videos about breathing. And I'm like, oh my God, is anyone going to watch this? This is so, because it's like, okay, yes, bitch, I know how to breathe, but we don't. And I mean, I didn't, and we're not breathing properly. And our shoulders are up here and everything's just like so tight, right? So to drop our shoulders and relax and breathe, constantly breathe deeply, especially when you're going to bed, that's going to help too. I comment to make you angry is here. Made it. We can start now. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the permission. Nice to see you. But what I wouldn't recommend Big Pontiac is getting on any type of, pharmaceuticals or drugs like St. John's wort. Try natural remedies first. And a lot of the mushrooms like lion's mane, a lot of people also get anxiety relief from that. So I would start with just natural supplements, but the breathing, getting, journaling, I mean, anxiety is something you should really work with someone with, but like, if they're working with a therapist, talk to ChatGPT, sign up for a course, do something where you're investing in yourself. Journaling is great for that. Maybe with your daughter and wife and niece, get them like gift them a really pretty journal and if they journal, but even if they don't, everyone's good at journaling. And so just encourage them. Say you saw this weird lady on the internet that like kept raving about journaling and suggested that, you get a nice journal and just write your thoughts because really we have to we have to get that energy out some type of way, or otherwise it'll get stuck in our nervous system and we're not breathing. This is where people have panic attacks. They're not physical, even though it feels like a heart attack. Think about how crazy that is. So we need to get that energy out. It's just an energy like release that we need to have. Um, Big Pontiac. So those are some just foundational suggestions I have. I comment to make you angry. Oh, I said that one. Peter, thanks, Lauren. As always, appreciate assistance in reframing my journey. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Thanks, Peter. I comment to make you angry. I have a question. When are you dyeing your hair red again? Asking for a friend. So that is a wig that I found this guy that makes wigs for celebrities. So often when you see celebrities, like they always have a wig on, but it looks very natural. Like if you see my videos from then, it looks like my hair. Like it's just very natural looking. I need to bust out the red wig again. Thank you. I comment to make you angry. I need to. I have not, I mean, in years, and I still have my red wig, and I freaking love it. Um, yeah, you just like it's like my alter ego with my red hair. So, I gotta put that on the list for, like, April. It's one of my intentions this month to do some stuff with my red wig. Gotta rock it again. Thank you for reminding me. But it's, like, real, like, human hair. It's, like, the best. I love that thing. J. Rowe, yeah, TED Talks are good. TED Talks are great, especially Esther Perel. There are certain people that I really like their TED Talks, but yeah. I comment to make agree. Oh, also, guess who's talking NMN Amaze? Oh, you're taking NMN. Yes. Oh my gosh, they just released studies showing that and it like oh, I'm sorry, they released studies from special forces soldiers who they put them on NMN and the results are amazing. If you go to my TikTok, if you want to like support that, like I have some stuff where I talk about NMN, especially this one brand that I really like. And I talk about that on TikTok and like through TikTok shop and because I have like I partner with them. So if you want to support that, you can. But yeah, NMN is great. Just make sure you get a high quality one that is NSF certified and third party tested. You will love the results. Literally, like reverses cell damage. NMN is just like the precursor to a youth molecule called NAD that we need. If you want to know more about it, just look up Dr. David Sinclair, NMN, and you'll be like, I need to take this right now. Okay. What about trauma-based anxiety? So trauma-based anxiety, Big Pontiac, great question, is still anxiety. So it's based on something that happened again, and you're worried it's going to happen in the future. It's the same type of thing. Because in most anxiety does have some type of trauma or like unresolved wounding that needs to be healed or gets to be healed. So with that, and again, like I would need to know specifically, but like I would highly recommend working with someone on that if it's because I don't know what the trauma is, if there's been any, work done around it, but we cannot live in a trauma-based anxiety state. That's no way to live, and it's going to really have an effect on your health. So it's an opportunity to let the past go if it's trauma-based and not let it completely dictate your future and your present moment, right? Because it's like you're constantly living in this state where you're worried about something that hasn't happened yet because of something in the past. That's no way to live. So and it is possible to heal. For I used to have it. I used to have that so bad, and it would, of course, and I kept repeating those patterns. It was showing up in like relationships because I had so much trauma from whatever childhood, and then I was constantly worried about it, and they would show up in my relationships again and again until I decided to heal it, rewire my brain, completely change all of my core beliefs around relationships and my safety. Okay. So when you do those things, and that is really deep work, but you can start with journaling. Like, what are my core beliefs about relationships or whatever it is about my safety, whatever that trauma is? What are my core beliefs about it? Like, honestly, just raw, honest. And then what would I like them to be? If I was like perfectly safe and at peace, what would they look like? And then slowly shifting into those new core beliefs. I comment to make you angry. Hi, Lauren. Hey, has Lauren made anyone cry? I have not. I've never made anyone cry. I was just, you know what? I was putting Tim in his place because he was disrespecting your time and my time. And I'm protective of you guys. So I'm not going to let anyone, disrespect your time or mine. And I have good boundaries, and I have to show you guys have good boundaries. J. Rowe, yes, specifically panic attacks. So if you're okay, so if you are having, wait, what was the last question? So if it is panic attacks, your body is really asking you to let go of whatever. I don't know what it is specifically, but your body is asking you to, one, like discharge that. So again, journaling is going to be good for that. You have to do some work around safety. Whatever the anxiety is, you have to be like, I'm safe now. This is not part of my reality anymore. Now I only live in a state of peace. Now I am only safe. Now I'm always supported. And you have to literally create a new feedback loop around that. to not get into these panic attacks. And again, breathing deeply, relaxing your body. And you're going to have to do it. I would recommend like 3 times a day if you're having panic attacks to like sit. I'm talking about sit and breathe deep. You need to breathe deeply all the time, but especially like doing like a little mini meditation or a longer one if you can, and extending that time, closing your eyes, breathing deeply, relaxing your body from head to toe. You have to do that. You have to do that. Like, really, that's like going to be medicine for you if you're having panic attacks. You must do it. Like, really, like, it has to be done. So start there. That is a great place to start, and then get extra support around it if you can by working with someone. I comment to make you angry. Fuck yes. Bust it out, Lauren. Love you too. Love you. Let's see. Comment to make you angry. If it helps, did you miss my birth? If it helps, do you miss my birthday? Wait, I don't get it. If it helps, you did miss my birthday. I missed your birthday. My birthday's next. My birthday's in 10 days. What's today? 9 days. Are we both Aries? So, Lauren, let's have a quick girl chat. Oh, are we going to have a girl chat? Okay. I'm taking NMN, astaxanthin, which is great. I love astaxanthin, and ashwagandha 66. I'm telling everyone from my experience, this combo works great. Yeah, it does. I take ashwagandha like at night, but if you are actually J-Ro, you might want to take ashwagandha because it will chill you out. Ashwagandha, some people like kava. Kava's like very strong for me. It's like too much. I mean, I think that's why people take it in replacement of alcohol, because it's not gonna like, fry your brain like alcohol. But ashwagandha, J-Ro, might be another good thing for you to take. St. John's wort is good for chilling people out. But also we got to breathe deeply. We got to also do the nervous system. If tapping helps people with anxiety sometimes because you are hitting those meridian points. So it's called EFT or tapping. That's going to help. Just please don't take any like pharmaceutical drugs, please. Mike says, thanks for the authenticity, Lauren. Do you have experience or done any lucid dreaming? You feel any useful applications for this waking dream called life? Do you have experience or done any? Do I have experience with what do you mean? Have I done any lucid dream? I mean, maybe I'm just reading it wrong, but like I've had lucid dreams, a lot of them, and like, yes, is this a dream that could get really like deep and philosophical and Rick and Morty, if you ever watched that cartoon, esque. But do you feel any use for waking? Do you feel any useful applications for this waking dream called life? I'm not sure what that question means. These are useful applications. I do think that we, decided to drop ourselves off at this planet for certain things, to learn certain lessons and to, upgrade our soul and to have like experiences, to like grow stronger spiritually. But yeah, in terms of lucid dreaming, I've had that sometimes, and you could get into this whole quantum physics of like different timelines and like, when you're asleep, are you just going to a different timeline? All of that stuff. J-Ro, yeah, if it gets kind of bad. Yeah, it gets kind of bad around the holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Those days kill it for me. Okay. So how about J-Ro? They used to. And this is actually perfect because you have months before, you have like 6 months before the holidays start. 6 months-ish. I don't know. I don't do math. But like, you have a healthy amount of time. So now it's like, you know what? The holidays are, no matter what happens, I always have the best holidays. No matter what happens, I have the best holidays. And your birthday is 4/7. You always have the best birthday. Happy birthday, by the way, J-Ro. Yeah, mine's 4/14. So can you reframe that? So the holidays always go well for me. The holidays are always peaceful. Again, I used to have that, and I'm like, "Fuck this. This is so fucking stressful. I'm gonna decide that no matter what, the holidays are gonna be great for me, and they're just gonna be filled with so much joy, and it's gonna be awesome." And now they are, you know? One of the best Thanksgivings I had is, like, when I was by myself. It was so fun. So it's like but can you reframe that? So, can you decide, "Yeah, it's really stressful to have the holidays be like that, so now I'm gonna have them be like this." 'Cause we can reframe anything. It's all about a perspective shift. Um, let's see. I comment to make you angry. The red wig, you missed my birthday, so if that's an incentive to toss that bad boy on. Okay. February. Oh, you're Aquarius. Yeah. Well, happy belated birthday. It was in February. Um, yeah, I know a lot of Aquariuses. They seem to like me. I like Aquariuses. But like I was saying, like, yeah, it's about that perspective shift. This is a great way to renew your mind, right? Like deciding this is my new everything is like self-concept. Know what you decide is true for you. So, I'm gonna invite you to work on that this week, and not even just, like, work on it, just, like, integrate it is what I really mean. Integrate that into every fiber of your being that now you're transitioning and you're shifting your awareness to this new reality where things go this way for you, and it's this, and, like, you know what? If a challenge comes up, it's like, "Oh, I got this. Good." Right? So much that even people look up to you when challenges come up. And the holidays, psh, they're great for you, right? Right, J-Ro? Working on it. And you would not and I truly believe that you would not have brought this up if you weren't ready to make that shift. I promise you that. So you are. Peter says, "So Lauren, the week of the 14th might be a red wig day to celebrate your birthday. Mine is for oh, happy upcoming birthday, Peter. Um, The 14th might be a Redwood day. I think my birthday's on a Tuesday this year. I don't know. I don't know if I wanna wear my red wig on a live stream, but I'll have to do some posts, with it because I usually would just, like, make, like, shorts and stuff like that with it, but I have, like, a lot of wigs, actually. I think that they're fun, but, the red wig is the best. It's the best. But yeah, you guys are definitely putting it in my mind, so I'll think about it. Yes, I'm trying my best and trust that I have been dying to hear you talk and give advice. Yeah, like you're just ready. It's like what's that saying? When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Like you only have like this showing up in your life because you're ready to hear it. You know, like a lot of my clients, will have like this breakthrough session or whatever, my individual clients, and then they'll get off and then they'll go on social media and they'll get like, they're like, can you believe like this message just came up? And I'm like, of course I can believe it because you're ready to hear it now. So, and then like life will keep reflecting that back to you. So you've only like attracted me into your experience, J Ro, because you're ready to hear those things. And I really just feel like I'm just the messenger. That's why I don't even focus on like, yes, I have these whatever fancy credentials and everything, but I really think of myself as just a channel to like for your guys' healing. And like that's all I want for you. I comment to make you angry. Check out Honey Badger Pete putting the moves on Lauren. Okay. Um, Attaboy Pete. See, I'm helping. Oh gosh. You guys. All right. I another wonderful soothing Sunday. Do that technique. I want to hear about how it goes. The Silva method technique that I went over at the beginning. It's called the right center left method if you want to look it up later. But I've just had really great results with it, and it's a really good way to reprogram your mind. And it helps you like really just like hone in and focus on whatever it is that you're trying to shift in your life. Um, let's see. You mean we're putting it on your head? Oh, oh gosh, you guys are funny. The right center left method. That's what Oh my God. You guys. Um, well, happy Sunday if you celebrate Easter, Passover, happy Easter. Happy spring, happy renewal season. I really want you guys to focus on that. Like if we're not evolving, we're declining, right? So we're always evolving in some type of way. We're always getting better. We're always like growing mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So whatever that looks like for you, focus on that this week. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Love you. Yes. Happy Easter, happy Passover. Okay, guys. I will see you on either Wednesday or Thursday. I actually don't know. Maybe I'll make a video or post or announcement about it. And put your notifications on so when I do go live, in case you forget, like it should notify you, you know, through YouTube. What else? I think that's all my announcements this week. So fun seeing you guys and hanging out with you guys. What is your info again for a mentor? My info. So all of it is in, I have my link tree in my bio. Here's my WhatsApp. Oops. WhatsApp. I'll say it out loud too. 949-396. Almost forgot. 4092. That's WhatsApp if you want to like connect. And but like in my link tree, just under my bio, like it is on YouTube and any other social media platform, it'll look in that link and it'll have all my stuff, all my courses, all of that. Peter says preoccupation with the past is depression, preoccupation with the future is anxiety, keeps replaying in my mind. Stay present. Yes. I mean, that's what Eckhart Tolle's work is based on. It's like all the healing, everything you want, it all happens in the present moment. And we have so many things, your inner critic, media, whatever else wants to take you out of the present moment to the past or the future that doesn't exist. But everything you want is right here in this present moment. My comment to make you angry. I love that you have humor, most reliable. I love that you have humor, the most reliable professional, still confident and professional, but reliable without crossing lines. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, you guys. It's wonderful seeing you. I'm already feeling better. Like when I started this thing, I was like, my throat was kind of scratchy. I was worried I wouldn't be able to, but you guys give me energy. And I hope that this was helpful to you guys. I love creating this little container for you. And I will talk to you soon. If you have any questions that you want me to answer in the next live stream, just drop them in my Instagram or TikTok. And I'll see you guys soon. Love you guys. Have an amazing week.